today I want to talk to you about natural deodorants, and in particular Nuud. It's a deodorant that we stock on Canvas Beauty, and it's from the Netherlands. And why it's so amazing, apart from being a natural deodorant and containing no harmful chemicals, is that it's made, it comes in a 100% recyclable sugarcane tube, which is pretty cool. So the materials that are used inside the deodorant and outside in the packaging is completely sustainable. So you know you're doing something good for the environment when you're switching over to this. So there's no more plastic roll-ons or aerosol sprays. The good thing about Nuud is that it actually does what it's meant to do in terms of preventing odours and trapping them and just making you smell as fresh as a daisy. But there is something that you should know when it comes to natural deodorants, is that your body does go through a detox period, so it does take time to work. And it can be a little bit awkward if you're trying a natural deodorant for the first time before a big event. So when you're switching from a deodorant or an antiperspirant for the first time and switching to a natural deodorant, one thing you have to remember is that it does take time for your body to detox. What happens basically when you first use a natural deodorant is that your body reacts, and it does that by producing an excess of the type of bacteria that causes odor. So it's not great, and it can take anywhere from 5 to 30 days for your body to get used to the fact that you're using a natural deodorant. If you're switching from a deodorant, it tends to take less time, but if you're switching from an antiperspirant, it takes a lot longer, and that's exactly what I was using. So I was using an antiperspirant, and the difference between the two is that a deodorant pretty much deodorises bad odours, so it just sort of covers them up with nice smells, and an antiperspirant actually blocks your pores to stop you from sweating. So the toxins are kind of trapped inside your body, and it's not great, but it is an effective way of basically not being sweaty. When you switch from an antiperspirant, your body kind of goes into a free-for-all mode when you first start using a natural deodorant. So it's like, oh my god, yay, I finally can breathe, and it starts letting a lot of toxins out. So the adjustment period is usually a lot longer, and for me it took about 3 weeks when I started using Nuud to get used to it. But then it's like someone turns on a light switch after about 3 weeks for me. I just didn't smell any longer and started smelling great, and just by putting a little bit of this white paste, which can also take some getting used to, under my arms every day. So that was the exciting part, because after about the 2-week mark I was like, when is this going to work? But it does. The other thing to get used to as well is not rolling on a deodorant, or not spraying a deodorant, but actually smearing it on like you're putting on a cream. I didn't mind the experience. So you squeeze just about this much out. It doesn't take a lot really, and something like a little tube of Nuud can last you about 3 to 4 weeks. For me, it lasted me almost 1.5 months, and you just take it and you rub it onto your skin. You basically rub it on until there's just a trace of a white cast. So it won't go on completely invisible for darker skin tones in particular. It does leave a little bit of a white cast, which kind of disappears with time. So about half an hour later, it'll just sort of sink into your skin. But with fairer skin tones, you shouldn't have too much of a problem. And either way, it doesn't actually stain your clothes. So you don't have to worry about your clothes coming out of a wash and there being a big patch, in the underarm area or anything like that. You can use Nuud anywhere you feel like it. So it doesn't have to be in your underarms. It can be anywhere you feel like, you do sort of sweat excessively, and it'll do its job. So what's inside a natural deodorant and what makes them work? Well, the first thing to talk about is what isn't inside them. So there is no aluminium, and on any of the natural deodorants we stock on our website, we stock 2. So we stock Buff Experts, their coconut and probiotic deodorant, as well as Nuud. you won't find any kind of harmful chemicals or ingredients that can potentially block your pores or do anything like that. Natural deodorants work in a variety of ways. So one common way is by using arrowroot powder, which is a really absorbent powder, and that helps to absorb any wetness and trap odours, which is the sort of thing that you'll find in a buff deodorant. Nuud, on the other hand, actually uses microsilver to neutralise odours. So basically how a chemical sunscreen neutralises UV rays, when they hit your skin, this microsilver actually neutralises odours so you don't smell, but you still sweat. So if you don't like the feeling of wet underarms and if you excessively sweat, we would recommend that you try a natural deodorant with arrowroot powder like Buffs. And if you just want to work in the natural flow of things, but if you just don't want to smell, and if that's your main issue, we would go for Nuud. There's only 10 ingredients in Nuud as well, so it's an ultra simple formulation. It's not a long list of ingredients that are meant to confuse you, and they're all long chemically names. You'll notice that it's actually quite hydrating as well, thanks to sweet almond oil, which is part of its formulation. And once you're done, you can just put it in the recycling. When you start your natural deodorant, look at it as a journey, be patient, it will work. It's worked for everyone, we've all been on it, we've all tried it. If you've got a big event coming up, probably skip using natural deodorant for the first time. If it's winter and you're not going to sweat as much and you're just sort of sitting at home anyway because it's freezing outside like we are in Melbourne, try it now. It is a good time, and by the time summer rolls around, it'll be working like a charm.